Hello and welcome to the Watering Hole. Thanks for checking out this clip. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that'll make the baby Jesus cry, and I know how much you guys love making the baby Jesus cry. Tweet time. Eric Hovind says, just because evolution is taught in your textbooks doesn't make it true. Yes, some scientists believe in evolution, but what they don't teach you is that many scientists completely reject the theory of evolution because there's no real evidence to back it.
Just because Christianity is taught in your Bible doesn't make it true.
Christianity is not taught in the Bible, actually.
You know what the fuck I'm saying.
I know what the fuck you're saying, but if you actually read the Bible,
Rudy,
modern Christianity is not anywhere to be found in those pages.
Okay, but you know what my point is.
Psalm 95 explicitly says that other gods exist and that the God of the Bible is just the king of the gods.
That sounds kind of interesting. No, I'm back to like, God is actually the devil and the devil is actually God. And because it's only people like Trump who would be like, hey, there's other gods, but I'm the king of the gods. Like, no. So I'm back to that.
Yeah.
I think that was day one of our stream.
Sure. Might have been. Anyway, Pew Research did a survey on the acceptance of evolution by education level and by and the scientific acceptance of evolution, and it was 98% of scientists accept evolution, and the error bars on that were plus or minus 2%. So it's anywhere from 96 to 100%, and my money is on closer to 100 than the other way. Whiskey.
Yeah, but then you have people like, because you've told me about like Christian scientists.
Whiskey RPG says, okay, after seeing you two, I might have to put Cirrus on the back burner for Power Couple. You guys are too cute. Thank you, Whiskey.
Whiskey in a jarro.
Yeah, so you were saying Pew Research?
Pew pew. I don't remember.
Okay. Yeah, so, and like many scientists disprove it.
I know what I was saying. Like the Christian scientists, that's the 2%.
Oh, you mean the cults?
Yeah. But they're still like they get their PhD and they're still technically scientists.
No. Christian Science, the cults, is not made up of people that have...
No, I'm talking about scientists who are Christian.
Okay. Yeah, but no, not even those, because the majority of scientists, in the States at least, are Christian.
Yeah, but I'm saying we've seen like YouTube videos of people who actually have their PhD and be considered scientists, but then they'd be like,
there's like 5 of them, though.
Yeah, that's...
It's like Jonathan Wells, Georgia Purdom.
Well, I'm sure there's some that don't have YouTube channels, but that's the 2% that we're talking about.
No, that they don't make up 2%. They're so tiny. John Baumgartner, Andrew Snelling. Like, the fact that I can just name
Rudy!
them. Fuck you.
By the end of the stream, you would have said all of them that you remembered.
No, now I'm going to stop.
And that's going to be so hard for you.
My point is, there's like maybe 50 to 100 actual PhD scientists who don't accept evolution.
Oh, wait, they say scientists, but they're not specific.
Well, yeah, no, that's because if you, the Discovery Institute has a list, or has a petition called the Scientific Dissent from Darwinism, where they get scientists to sign a statement that if you don't know that it's coming from a creationist organization, intelligent design, same bloody thing, if you don't know it's coming from them, then it's actually something that like any scientist would sign on to. It's like, we should be skeptical of these claims and investigate them to the fullest extent of our ability. And it's like, yeah, that's what science is all about. But they take that to mean like, oh, we should be skeptical as in we don't believe it. And so they put their names on this list and we're like, look at all the scientists we got to say they don't believe in evolution. Meanwhile, it's like there have been scientists that have come out and been like, no, I absolutely do believe in evolution. That was just like a statement that is just a general application of science. Sure. And the National Center for Science Education, they actually have a competing list called Project Steve, where
Steve.
Yeah, no, where they're like,
Steve.
No, but they're like, we want people to sign on saying they do affirm evolution and accept that it's true. And it's the best explanation we have for the diversity of life on the planet today. The only exception being, first, you have to be a scientist working in a field that is relevant to evolution.
See, that's what I'm getting at. Yep.
You have to be named Steve. And so the scientific dissent from Darwinism, who will take anything, like there's a bunch of dentists that signed it. They called them scientists and let them sign it. But dentist is not a scientist. It's a dentist.
The science of dentistry.
Yeah, but they're not research dentists. They're people that fill your cavities. They're not the ones doing the science. They're the ones that are doing the procedures.
Doing the practical application.
Yeah, okay, fine, but that's not the same thing. I'm not saying that dentists are not valuable. I'm saying that it's not scientific research. But last I heard, I forget the exact numbers, but I think like the scientific dissent from Darwinism had about 1,000 signatures, and Project Steve has like 2,000 or something like that. Like they've blown them out of the water, and they're far more restrictive in their criteria. And if you extrapolate the numbers, it actually works out to being like 0.1% of scientists who would disagree with Darwinism. And then...
So they're all named Steve?
Yeah, they're all... Or some variation thereof. Steve, Stephen, Stephanie.
So why only Steve? Like, but why?
To put an artificial restriction on it to show just how vast the support for evolution is.
Okay, now I get it. Yeah. No, now I get it. Okay.
Like they're purposefully limiting their pool of people that can sign it to say, hey, we can still beat you even when we put arbitrary limits on it.
Yes. Okay, I get it now. So the whole thing is an experiment.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Fleece Trino hates dentists confirmed. I do hate dentists. Well, I hate going to the dentist, but my dentist is actually pretty good. He's really good with the kids. Yeah.
I don't know. You told me about that, but then he just sent me to another dentist.
Well, yeah, he knows his limitations.
Yeah, but I can't verify because he just sent me to another dentist.
Frank Turek says, what should you do if a loved one calls you toxic and ends the relationship?
Walk away.
Yeah, you should...
Actually, no, go to therapy and walk away.
You should... You should undergo some self-examination to figure out why this person thinks that you're toxic. Take steps to correct your toxicity if they are correct, and then acknowledge the fact that nobody owes you a relationship.
That's the truth.
Look up cultivar. So drunk I will come again.
Okay, so no, you can't write things like that right now. Nope.
I'm confused. Do you know what they're talking about?
No, I don't know what's in the quotations. It was the end of it that they're not allowed to write things like that.
I'm wondering if that's supposed to be part of the Google.
No, it's just the things in the quotations. They're saying, I will come again, like they enjoyed the stream. But that's not what I thought they said.
Well, yeah, no, my mind went there first as well. But like cultivar is a plant variety that has been produced in cultivation by selective breeding. It's like, yeah, that's like the different kinds of grapes that make different kinds of wines.
Who's Beth and Jerry? Are you talking about Steve and Sharon?
What?
I don't know. They said, what if both of you were toxic, like Beth and Jerry?
Yeah, I don't know who Beth and Jerry are either. Yeah. But
so no, because so if they're both toxic, it happens, but you can only address stuff within you. So that other person should also self-reflect and do all those things. That's the thing. When you come out of a relationship,
they're Rick and Morty characters apparently. I don't think I got past season 3 of Rick and Morty. I'm not sure.
Damn it.
When two people are toxic in a relationship.
No, it doesn't even matter if two people are toxic or not. If you're not, quote unquote, the toxic one, even after a breakup, you should be self-reflecting and adjusting any behaviors. Because one thing people don't realize, or not that they don't realize, but they don't even think about is red flags aren't always aggressive. They're not always outward behaviors. So a red flag could be someone who doesn't know how to set boundaries. So even if the other person was toxic and abusive, if you yourself don't know how to set boundaries, you're just going back into another relationship where someone has the opportunity to take advantage of you again. We can only control our own actions and how we respond to things.
Blade Runner says, is Heidi drunk? No, she's high. I'm the drunk one, and I'm not that drunk.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, nobody owes you their relationship. So if somebody decides to end a relationship, whether you want the relationship to be over or not, you have to respect their decision to end the relationship. Because if you don't respect that decision, then you have a relationship that is not based on respect or trust. And so it's not going to be a good relationship. So yeah, even if it's painful, accept the fact that that relationship is now over, and and it will remain over unless that person changes their mind, which they are under no obligation to ever do. Fusel says, that was kind of touching, Heidi.
Oh.
Case Orbs says, if you love Palestine so much, maybe you should move there. Because, like, wanting Israel to not commit war crimes is the same as wanting to live in the area where they are committing war crimes.
Oh my God.
And yes, I recognize that Hamas is also committing war crimes and doing horrible, heinous shit. This is a situation where both sides are the bad guy. And I'm not both sidesing it in the sense that, like, oh, I'm not picking sides because both sides, like, no, like,
Thou shalt not kill people. The end.
Yeah, like, I do not live there. And so, like, I don't have the experience that these people have. I am not capable of comprehending how painful this will be to people that actually live there. I'm just not. So I'm not going to comment on the political situation. I'm not going to comment on what should happen. But what should not happen, absolutely, is war crimes and genocide, which both sides are doing. Mm-hmm. And when I say both sides, I'm not saying Palestine, because Hamas is in charge in Palestine, and people say, like, oh, well, you know, Palestine elected Hamas. It was a democratic election. They chose Hamas. It's like, yeah, they chose Hamas in 2006, which was their last election. More than 50% of the population is under the age of 18 currently. They did not, the people that live there now did not choose Hamas. The people that lived there in 2006 did. Yeah, some of those are still around. So, like, Hamas, bad guys.
Yeah, but if they've also never had an election to 2006,
then it's clearly not democratic.
It's not democratic. Like, and you can't say the people voted for them because they haven't been given an opportunity to change their mind.
Yeah. And my understanding is that more recent polling has suggested that Hamas does not enjoy very widespread popularity in Palestine. And they maintain their control by violently shutting down any protests. Mm-hmm. So, like, yeah, no, Hamas are the bad guys. The Israeli leadership, Netanyahu, also bad guys. The civilians, victims. Mm-hmm. Whether they be Palestinian civilians or Israeli civilians, they're victims. Mm-hmm. And,
like, why can't we just put the two leaders in a ring and let them duke it out?
Yeah, they always fight through people that, like, are desperate, in desperate situations. They exploit the vulnerable to do their fighting for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, I'm not going to get too much into this, but we got another case.
Oh, wait, I think I've solved war. Okay? So, as a collective, we're going to be like, okay, guys, okay, we're not going to war anymore. You guys who are in power, who wanted to be in power, you guys have to fight against each other. But if you lose, you die, because that's what happens in war. Mm-hmm. But we're also going to kill your family. Mm. So then instead of war, they'd be like, you know what? Let's just sit down and work this shit out.
I don't know. A lot of them don't actually care about their families, though. I don't feel like I'm not opposed to your idea, but I feel like it wouldn't be as universally applicable as
we can figure out, like, the caveats that need to be addressed, like, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, K-Sorbs also posted this comic, which is Zelensky has a backpack full of money from the States, asking Netanyahu, "What do you get?" And he said, "Sympathy cards, supposedly." which says don't fight back, and it's from the far left Dems. Meanwhile, guess which country has received the most foreign aid out of all other countries in American history?
Israel.
Israel. Guess how much of that foreign aid went to their military?
All of it.
Not all of it, but the majority of it. Guess what country is sending them military equipment already?
America?
United States. They sent them America. Yeah, they sent them fighter jets already. Guess whose job it would be to pass a budget to allocate more funds for assisting Israel in this conflict, if America so chose?
Democrats.
No. Congress, which is run by Republicans, which are in disarray right now because they can't fucking choose a Speaker of the House, because they can't get their shit together, because they are a bunch of children. So if they want to send aid to Israel, they have to get their fucking shit together.
Yeah, you lost me on that rabbit trail from that thing to that thing. It took you a little bit too many steps for me to get there.
Sorry.
So I got lost.
Oh, yeah. And Binary Hedgehogs points out. So this is something you won't see from the right, from Fox News and shit like that. They'll just say like, oh, we're sending $44 billion to Ukraine. It's like, no, they're not sending $44 billion. They're sending military equipment that is valued at $44 billion, but which is no longer in use in the American military. They're sending them their old obsolete equipment that's just sitting in a warehouse somewhere. And it's like, hey, we may as well give it to these guys who are trying to defend their homes from an...
Actually, that's actually saving the money because...
Yeah. Now they don't have to store it anymore.
Yeah. And storage costs, whether it's cost of land, renting, building, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
anybody who works retail knows that stuff in your storeroom is costing you money.
Unmoved retail is expensive. So yeah, that's something you don't hear from the right, is that we're not sending money to Ukraine, or we. The states. They're not sending money to Ukraine. They're sending old equipment that the military doesn't need anymore to Ukraine. So like, I don't know. It's not even close to equivalent.
I mean, like Texas and those places, they don't need any more tanks right now, they said, so they're just sending them away out of country. Why do they give their shit to like...
Loki says, I think my toddler niece might be smarter than some of the Republican politicians right now. I do not doubt it in the least. Isabella Maria De Luca says, if your man lets you do OnlyFans, stay on birth control, wear whatever you want, be on anxiety/depression meds, go on vacation without him, make your own decisions without consulting him first, be a girl boss, he doesn't love you. So apparently I don't love you because I would let you do all of those things.
You really don't have a choice.
Yeah, no, this is where it's the... I don't...
Okay. OnlyFans... I get in the sense that if you're religious, that's how you feel about that sort of thing, because you don't believe in sex before marriage and all that. I can see that if we're looking at it from a religious lens. And birth control, because they don't believe in it, like it's from a religious standpoint, I can also see that. Wear whatever you want, meh. Again, there is some... Beyond anxiety, depression, or anti-anxiety and depression.
Yeah, get health care.
Yeah. Like how? How is that even related? Have a better experience living as a human. If your partner would... Like, oh my God.
So my thing here is like, sure, religious things or whatever. But so my thoughts here are, so going back to the earlier tweet about how nobody owes you a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in a relationship with someone and they decide to set up an OnlyFans account and you are of the opinion that like, okay, well, that crosses a line for me. I'm not willing to be in a relationship with someone that has an OnlyFans account. I mean, there are a very few people on OnlyFans that do not do sex stuff, but I'm just going to assume it's sex stuff. So like, I'm not willing to be in a relationship with someone that has an OnlyFans account.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You have every right to leave that relationship.
Yeah.
And they have every right to set up an OnlyFans account.
Yeah.
And if you actually have a good relationship, you can sit down and talk with it beforehand and give your position to each other. Have a conversation. Be like, hey, I'm really not comfortable with you having an OnlyFans account. I do understand that it's your body, it's your autonomy. You can do as you choose with it. But I'm not comfortable being in a relationship with someone that has an OnlyFans account. So if you do decide to go forward with that, then I will take that as an ending of the relationship. And like, not use that in like the Jonah Hill. You can't.
It's not a threat. It's
like not a threat. Just be like, hey, this is something I'm not comfortable with. So like, I can't be in a relationship with someone who does that. I can understand that. But then on the flip side of that, like, I don't let you do anything. You are your own personal person with autonomy. I respect your autonomy. So you do have an OnlyFans, and I'm your only subscriber.
So cute. Love it.
Yeah, and like, wear whatever you want. Yeah, I've no fashion sense.
I know.
I wouldn't even pretend to have any valid input on what you wear. That's completely your choice.
But I meant to tell you this earlier. I'm really, really sorry for getting angry at you.
You got angry at me?
In my head.
Oh, what'd I do?
Well, technically you didn't do anything.
What'd you think I did?
It's not that you did anything. It's my expectations, and not like in a bad way. It's like,
what did I fail to do?
No, it's not what you failed to do. It's not about you, because you actually didn't do anything. It is my unrealistic expectations of when I say something but don't explain it clearly, expect you to know exactly what I meant in my head. So it'd be like me saying, hey babes, can you take out the trash? And you take out the trash, but what I meant to tell you was, can you take the trash out to the trailer on the side of the house, because I'm gonna take a run to the dump, versus, can you please take out the trash, and you take it to the other side of the house to the actual trash bins. Because I didn't actually tell you the rest. I just said like part of it in my head. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So you can't fail at something you didn't know you had to do. But then I got mad at you, so. Yeah.
And anyway, so I retweeted this, and Shannon, with regards to the girl boss thing, she was like, well, to be fair, I have told Paul that if I ever refer to myself as a girl boss unironically, he is to smack me as hard as he can and then break up with me or something like that.
Why? I'm a girl boss.
And she doesn't want to. Well, girl boss is something that's usually associated with like MLM stuff. Like, oh, you can be a girl boss and sell the MLM dildos.
Different worlds.
Okay.
That's not what it means in my world. Yeah, I had something to say, but I forgot. Oh, you said I have autonomy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was going to say we can just continue living our loving, sex-satisfying relationship, knowing that... I don't remember what I started with, but knowing that whatever I started with in that sentence... Oh, knowing that you don't really love me. I got there.
Oh, sure.
Okay, go.
Joshua Rasmussen, this is a good one for when you're high. Says, I'm more convinced by this that this argument is sound even... I'm more convinced this argument is sound even than that I have a brain, and I'm pretty sure I have a brain. Premise 1, I am introspectively aware of a thought in my mind. Premise 2, I am not introspectively aware of brain activity. Premise 3, therefore, a thought in my mind is not brain activity.
Okay, so thought, I feel like I am introspectively aware of brain activity.
He means like the exact like neurons firing and electrical impulses and shit.
You still hear me speak.
You are aware of that?
Yes. So sometimes
mushrooms in your marijuana?
He doesn't ever that. No, listen. Okay. So sometimes when I'm talking, like in my mind, I see my brain and I see like pew 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 pew. So I
and
feel
research.
I feel like I am aware of it, because this isn't just like, oh, we're talking about the brain, so therefore I'm thinking of it. Like at random times, we'll just have a random conversation. My brain is like, oh, look at me work. Beep, 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 beep,
That's just called ADHD, man. But yeah, so but so this one, you can take that to like moving your hand. Like I'm moving my hand around. I'm introspectively aware that I am moving my hand, but I'm not introspectively aware of my brain sending electrical signals down my muscles and nerves to the muscles of my hand to move the hand. Therefore, my hand is moving from magic, not because my brain's telling it to.
I mean,
like, it's the same argument.
And I feel like it's true.
It gets worse for him, though. Why? Because large language model AIs, so it'd be like ChatGPT, it's been shown that when you train a large language model AI to read brainwaves, now this has to be specific to the person. It's not generalized. You can't just read anyone's mind. But like if you train an AI on one person's brain, then that AI can read their mind with, I think it's something like 85% accuracy. So the fact that it can listen to your mind and get words out of that, like it can know what you're thinking based on just looking at your brain states, so it's pretty indicative that brain states cause your thoughts. Because you can tell what the thoughts are by reading the brain states.
Okay, so hear me out. What if people who are psychic have just developed that ability to do that?
But people aren't psychic, though.
Says
that's called cold reading.
No, says you.
No, there's no psychic.
Says you.
So why is it that when a psychic is addressing an audience and they're like, oh, someone in the audience has a loved one whose name starts with L? Why do they always start with common letters? Why does nobody's name ever start? Why are there no Xaviers that they ever contact beyond the grave?
Okay, first of all, I never said everybody who says they're a psychic is a psychic. Yes, they're con men and women.
And every time it's ever been tested,
it's
turned out to be con men and women and non-binary.
And gender fluids. And two spirits.
We'll just have to agree to disagree.
What if I told you I was a psychic?
Then I wouldn't believe you. Now, I might believe that you believe that you're a psychic. But that doesn't mean that you actually are. Because there are psychics out there who honestly believe that they are psychic.
I know.
But they just might be naturally good at cold reading and not aware of the tricks that they're using. Anyway, I think that's the last tweet. Yeah.
So basically what you're saying is these people who are naturally gifted at cold reading have developed the ability of this AI to just be able to interpret
it's not
people.
Reading other people's brainwaves.
How do you know it's not? If they don't know.
Because it's just making vague statements that can apply to almost everybody. And our psychology is geared towards remembering the hits and forgetting the misses. So when they get things wrong, they don't remember that they got things wrong. And the people that they got things wrong for aren't remembering it. So they just remember the one or two things that they got right.
Because if you go to a good psychic, they actually give you notes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a true story. Actually, there's one right here. Where'd it go? It was, there it is. Like, this is actually a small note compared to some of the notes that she normally gives me. Like it's normally like.
Yeah, and it'll be written like horoscopes where it can be applicable to almost anybody.
No.
I can almost guarantee you.
No. But my point is, if these people are naturally gifted at reading people and they weren't taught, like, if someone looks this way, then...
Are they looking at your brain under an fMRI scanner?
No.
Because that's how ChatGPT is doing it.
Maybe, like, dolphins, and they go... They're not aware of it. Like, they just know it happens, but they're not aware that they're actually doing it.
Then why is it that every single time any form of ESP has ever been studied scientifically, it has been found to be fake. Because you'd think that if they actually had this ability, they could take it into a lab and actually use it. Especially if it's what you're saying, where they're actually reading people's brain states and it's not some mystical, magical thing. They're just like somehow able to pick up on other people's brain states. Like, because the excuse they always give for that is like, oh, well, the energies aren't in line right now or whatever. Like the negative energy from the people doing the test is messing up with it. But if they're just reading actual brain states, it's like, no, I can see that you are expecting me to fail this thing because, well, but like it wouldn't actually cause them to fail because they could still read that brain state.
No, because maybe there is some interference. The walls are too thick between them. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I do.
Will you see my psychic?
No.
Come on, why not?
I let you do tarot cards for me. I'm not going to a psychic.
Why?
Okay, that's it for this.
Wait. If you don't believe in it, why would you not go? Like, just
because I don't want to give money to someone who's just going to be cold reading me and doing a parlor trick.
So what about people who, like, do it off of your photo?
It's called cold reading.
Cold reading your photo?
Yeah.
How?
Because they make vague statements that are applicable to pretty much anybody, and then they gauge the reaction of the person that they're talking to see how accurate, or to see which statements hit better.
Yeah, but if they're not talking to them, like, you send them a picture and then they just write you an email back.
Yeah, then it's the same as horoscopes. It's just vague statements that could be applicable to almost anybody.
So why won't you see my psychic?
Because I don't believe in psychics. I don't see the point.
Yeah, but it's like
okay, this is not an argument we need to have on here.
It's a scientific experiment.
This stream is half an hour over time.
That's okay.
Ceres needs to go to bed.
We were going to sit and talk anyways, so they're just joining us for the ride. If they didn't want to be here, they know how to leave.
Fennec says go to the psychic. It would be funny.
Like, you should be treating this as a scientific experiment.
It's not scientific, though.
Why is it not scientific?
Because it's not. Okay, stream's over. As always, apparently I forgot to say fuck off last week, so as always, fuck off.